Good afternoon. This is Claudine here from Rascal and Crow Farm. Just doing a little segment on cleaning our heirloom tomatoes from the bottom stems to clear the stems. And we are tying them today against the planted stakes that we just staked them. They're about 2 feet tall at this point. And I just want to show you what I do here. Now these two over here, if you notice, they're tied and they're cleaned. The bottom, about 6 inches from the bottom of the stem is cleaned, and I've tied them three times, as you can see, bottom, middle, and at the top of the plant where I can, if the plant's tall enough and if it needs more support. The second one I've done the same. Now I've got these two in front of me, and I just gave them just the main stem tie just so that it can get out of our way, so I can show you what I do here. So we have, what do we use to tie? The first thing that we use, I go to the dollar store and I buy this little guy here. It's a plant stretch tie, and it's very good. And it's basically what dollar store, look, $1.25, cheap, right? So plant stretch tie, and what it comes in these little, just a little roll like this, and they're very stretchy, and so these are great to tie your branches, because people say, well, you know, I like to go natural if I can, but in this case for heirloom tomatoes I don't, and the reason why is because you want the plant to grow with it, and these things stretch really well as the stem grows, so it doesn't harm the stem. And so I like them for that. Unfortunately, at the end of the season, you got to cut them out, and you have to throw them in the garbage, unfortunately. Now, if I was going natural, you know, rope, oh brother, you know, a rope does not give you the give. That's another problem. The other thing is, why don't you use, say, pieces of cloth? Well, same thing. The pieces of cloth do not stretch as the plant grows, and so it tends to strangle the branch as it grows. So this is what I use, and I found that that's the best thing that I've found. I know they have a couple of other sort of foamy products and things like that, but this is inexpensive, it's quick to use, and I know that it doesn't harm the plants. So that's what I use. So now what do we trim? What do we do? Should you pull out your suckers? Shouldn't you? It's really up to the individual. If you look here, I have cleared my plant a bit. Now I took some lower suckers. Here's a sucker that I pulled out. Lower ones that were down here. Now you want to clear that bottom branch. You have to, just to keep it clean from disease. So you'll have to sacrifice what you think might need to be pulled out. Now if you look at this one here that I'm touching here, this is an actual, it's going to be a flower branch, right? So, and it's coming from the main branch. It's not a sucker. You'll have the suckers in between, right? Which I've pulled a few out already here. There's some suckers here and some suckers here I've pulled out. If you look here too, here's another flower branch. That's going to be a flower branch, and you can tell because it's very, very dense in the middle there. I don't know if we can clear this properly. And so you can see that there's going to have its little babies there, little flowers coming out. So these, you'll have tomatoes that have branches coming out from the main stalk, of course. And you'll have to see which one you want to sacrifice. There's another one here, if you can see here. There's one here too that I could pull out. I might just leave it for now. And so you want to see how many flower branches you have from the main branch. And so these will be branches and not suckers, and they produce their own little flowers, so that you have your little tomatoes on it. Now, so on this plant I have, let me see, I have 1, I have 2, I have 3 at the back here. I have this potential one. It's lowered, it's sort of in between them. And I have the main stalk. If you can see this main branch here, I have this main branch that already has flowers on it. From that main branch, you see it sort of tri branches off. You got 3 branches coming from this main one, right in the center. Now I've got, see, there's more here. There's this one, and the main one. So that's good. On this plant I have quite a few flower stalks. Excellent. Okay. Some plants you don't. Some plants you don't get. You get the suckers will be your flower stalks. So you want to be careful what you take off, what you trim off, because you may end up with no tomatoes or very few. So it's sort of a call that you have to look at the plant. That's why I like to let the actual heirloom tomato grow for 2 feet to see what is starting. And then I can make that call. I'm going to show you a plant over here, just over here on the left here, that I've cleaned. And I have tied, and I've cleared the bottom there, of course. Now this is a Portuguese ox, which means it is an ox heart. This one in particular, I've cleaned the branches off, and you can see I don't have a lot of flower stalks. I have the main stalk here, and then from the main stalk it also tries out, so I have 3 flower stalks that I can see up here too. So the flower stalks are way up higher. I've got nothing below. So that you have to look at each individual plant to see what you want to pull out and what you want to keep. So I know that I have 4 flower stalks right now at this point, which is good. So I know I'm guaranteed tomatoes, and maybe a good amount. We'll see. So if I didn't have these stalks up top, if I started to trim these down too, I end up with no tomatoes. So yeah, you have, like I said, you have to look at them individually. This again, the one beside it, this is a beefsteak. This also has it has 3 flower stalks as well. So you can see this beautiful one here, and you can tell that they're flower stalks with you'll see that they're quite bushy in the middle, and you'll know that those will be flowers. And I have the one here in the middle. So these are good plants that are gonna give me lots of fruit. Now I'm going to show you over here. So these are regular tomato leaves. You look at these; they're regular tomato leaves. Nice looking, beautiful. Okay, that's what you know is a tomato plant, right? You know it by the leaf. You know that that's what it looks like. Now there's the other type here, which is this one here. So there's 2 types of leaf. There's the potato leaf, which is this one, and there is the regular leaf, which is your regular tomato looking plant, right? Your tomato leaf. This is a regular. And now you look at this one, the potato leaf. And it kind of does resemble a potato leaf a bit. And that's what they call a potato leaf. So very different. Very different. They're scrawnier looking plants. They tend to have fewer tomatoes. So you have to be really careful with these ones in particular. Now, if I look at this plant here that I haven't tied yet and I haven't cleaned, I will only clean just a few of these little baby leaves back here. Down here is not much, not much to clean on this. So that's pretty well it. That's all I'm going, as far as I'm going. And if you look at this plant, I have right here in the center, there's the flowers. You see the little flower stalk there? Okay, so that's what I got. And then I have a sucker that's coming out of it too. Now I want to keep this one. Why? Because I'm going to have probably not too many tomatoes on this plant. So here's another one. So that's all I got out of that main stem. I have 3 of flowers right now. So I want to be choosy, and I want to conserve as many as I can. Now I'm looking right now at a month into growing, so They say that from flower to tomatoes, you'll have about, you need about 5 weeks. I say you need 7 weeks, not 5, but 7 with heirloom. And so you have to count from, at this point, when your flowers show and start to grow, you have to figure out 7 weeks from there that you'll have, your tomatoes will be ready to pick at least. Even if they're green, they will ripen. So you have to keep that in mind too. The length of season that you have left, where your blooms are at, and count about 7 weeks from then. So that's why you need to be choosy with these plants. And here's another one. Then I'm looking at this one, and it's got a lot of leaf. It only seems to have two flower stalks on it at this point. I got one, well, no, actually I have a few. There's more suckers around this one. So that's a good thing. I probably sacrifice one of them to make sure that the main one grows really well, since I have 3 to choose from other than the main one. So yeah, there's 4 on here, but they're very small compared to the other ones. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Your tomato plants will grow at different speeds because they're different tomato plants. They're different seed. They're different tomatoes. So you got to keep that in mind as well. So I hope this segment was helpful to you. And I will continue on cleaning my plants and tying them as I did there. And let's see if I've missed anything else. That's pretty well it. So that's all she wrote for now. Thank you for joining us here at Rascal and Crow Farm. And we will keep you posted. Bye for now.